Dating is about finding out who you are and who others are. If you show up in a masquerade outfit, neither is going to happen. Henry Cloud.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to be talking about dating and how much it sucks ass. And I'm so glad I am no longer dating.
I hate that I'm back in the piss pool.
You're back in the dating pool.
The pool has piss in it. Pool. The pool is piss. It ain't got piss in it. It's
a piss pool with people floating around.
Right? Boom.
The fish belly up and all that.
Before we jump into things, what are we eating today?
We're eating a pecan pie, and I actually started eating my pie. I put a ton of pecans in it because I like crunch. And I don't like pecan pies with like all that goo. Like it's like a block of goo and then like the pecans on top. That's not me. So mine's have whole, half, crunched pecans with a buttery crust.
Okay.
Make sure that you guys go to our Patreons if you want to get recipes. And see extra episodes of us. So yeah. Pies. I don't really do pies. I'm not like a pie person. But I really want a pecan pie. I don't know why, but okay. Yeah.
I mean, the filling is delicious.
It's like all the pecans. Makes me want Christmas. No, Christmas, Thanksgiving.
It's definitely giving Thanksgiving.
All right.
Now I gotta chew before we start talking.
You got nuts in your mouth.
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna save my comments for later.
Okay.
We got nuts to go with our mics.
Oh my God. Can I just say it? All right. So we have been going through the ups and downs of podcasts and figuring out things and figuring out mics, right? We are two people in a small room that is not sound boarded or whatever. Anyway, so we had to get a couple of mics to kind of figure out what our Okay, so we had to get some mics to kind of like figure it out. These new mics are better than the old ones, but they look like big, right? They're huge. Like and that's been the running joke. Like, I don't know if you guys paid attention, but we had like the boom arm with our old mics. But when we put the boom on this one, it looked like a hanging. And it just was so distraction.
The
guys.
girth
like
on this mic.
And for us to talk about this with our dating sucks episode. But yeah.
So yeah, Kecia gave us some nuts to go with our mics
and our pie. Okay.
You out the box. We might
anyway,
need to edit this out.
I'm not editing this out.
You out the box.
I'm not editing this out because it's funny. You guys should know. You know the struggle. This shit is not easy.
All right, you little nutty girl.
Oh man. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about dating and how much it sucks. So I'll talk about my past experiences with dating, and you tell me about your current situations with dating now that you're newly divorced. Whoop whoop.
What's that Glorilla song?
Did you ask me? I don't know.
It's like no, from a couple summers ago.
A couple summers. Think about last summer. I love.
Or maybe last summer. You know which one I'm talking about?
Not at all.
I'm FREE.
Free.
That means I ain't gotta worry about no cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know why I bleeped out the F word, but
and
not
I
nigga.
said it.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
Y'all know that song. That's my song. And I be outside like this when it come on. Hey.
Oh my God. Anyways, so from what I can recall, because me and Brian have been together 9 years. 9 years ago, the dating pool was trash.
Yeah.
It was awful. I can imagine what the dating pool is now. So how is it out there? Are you okay? Do you need help? Blink if you need help. You blinking, bitch, your eyelashes on the phone. Goddamn.
Because I need help. It's dirty outside. Dirty, dusty. Yeah.
Dusty feet don't touch me.
Dusty feet, please don't. Yeah. Dating actually, some experiences have been fun. But it still sucks. Like, it sucks for me because, one, I feel like I'm in New Orleans. New Orleans is small. Everybody knows everybody. It feels weird, too, now with dating, like, for me, just because I was on a reality show. So, like, I'd be scared to, like, online date. Because I'm like, I don't want nobody, like, screenshotting me to be like, oh, care for Married at First Sight on here. So, that part sucks. And then, like, I don't know, you just gotta get to know somebody again all over. And it's just like people still be so fake. Like, realistically, is more men just on the planet than it is women. So then it's like you got this pool of men to choose from and they got way more options. And so I just think that makes it difficult for women, especially black women.
And there's a limited amount of people our age that, one, don't have kids, right?
That part, yeah.
Baby mamas. If I don't have to deal with a baby mama, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're getting older, so that kind of is like going out the window, right?
Right.
Somebody who's financially stable. And somebody who got their own house, like their own crib. Not even a house, like your own spot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to pull up to your house and have to worry about your mama cooking in the kitchen. And, you know, we can't make noise because you're trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
So having those guidelines with the small area that you're in.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough. And then, like I said, I just feel like everybody knows everybody.
Everybody
so,
knows everybody. Like,
even some men who have approached me, it's like, I already know about you, sir. And, like, I'm not interested. Like, or either be like they dated somebody close to, like, just it's just too small. Like, it's too small. And then I feel like the type of men that I would be looking for, like, where do I find y'all?
I was just about to ask you, where do you find men? Like, where do you shop for men? Like,
I mean, I don't really even, like, when I go out, I'm not like mindset on, oh, I'm gonna find somebody, because I don't even know where to go to do that. Like, I just be out having a good time.
Y'all, where do y'all find men? I've heard the saying that you go to, like, grocery stores.
I be in a grocery store all day.
How you be looking? You be having that still face on? Do you be looking approachable?
I mean, I just don't be seeing nobody I'm interested in.
Why is it that?
What?
I'm not saying I'm above anybody, right? But it'd be like the dudes that have absolutely no chance be shooting a shot every time. Like, sir,
left and right,
why
baby.
do you feel like we gonna make what?
I saw this TikTok video. This girl was like, the man that just hollered at me, she said, I had to go look in the mirror and see, like, what is giving you the courage? And she's like, I don't even mean to be cocky, but she's like, it makes me question if you think you can come holler at me and, like, this is the package you're bringing to me. What do I really look like? Like, what energy am I giving off? And, like, all these women were chiming in. They're like, yeah, some of these men be shooting, like, way above their league. Like,
I guess they feel like, fuck, I ain't got nothing to lose. Like,
yeah, they probably used to it.
And then if they hit it, like, you gotta throw the balls to get it. What they say, throw the free shots. I don't know. You gotta, like, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I never know what happens. She might be like, yeah, I'm gonna take you home. Because now they got a lot of women out there that'll meet a homeless dude and bring him home.
Really?
Yes. That'd be blowing me. Like, how you met this? Oh, he was in the park one day and I was feeding the pigeons and I decided to give him a ride home and a place to stay and some money.
Not feed the pigeons.
She was a pigeon. Anyway, so we know that you, of course, met your last serious relationship the day that you married him. Do not recommend? Do you recommend?
So I have a tainted view because, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever tried dating sites? I know that you're skeptical of them.
I have in the past. Let me see. I did Bumble before. I think I did Tinder briefly, but, like, I don't think I really was, like, finding anything on Tinder. But, like, I didn't really for real meet anybody. I think there were like maybe a couple of dudes I exchanged messages with. There was one I actually did meet up with. He lived out of town though. So like that didn't go anywhere. Because he was just here and we matched. And then...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that ain't going nowhere. You live out of town.
I mean, you never know.
No, but you know, it's hard to establish a relationship when it's like, oh, we matched on Bumble, but like you didn't
really
even
don't
get
have
to...
no loyalty to that person because when they get back home, they're going to be matching to somebody else.
Right.
Again, so.
We didn't even get to meet each other when he was here. Like we matched and then he left like the next day, like as we were starting a conversation. So that's why I was like, that didn't go anywhere because it's not even like we had a date and formed like a connection or anything. Which we did end up going on a date because I went to work in the city he lived in. Like I
think you told me about this.
Probably. I was there for like a couple of days and we actually had a really good date.
You went to see your friend or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
We had a really good date, but he don't live here or didn't live here, and this was like years ago. Yeah. But I said that I know they have like some dating apps and sites that are a little more like exclusive, like Raya or Raya I've heard of.
I know that there is one for professionals, and you have to be like vetted out to be on this dating site, right? And then there's always Ashley Madison. Did you know that there's a Netflix documentary about Ashley Madison?
No.
I just saw it the other day.
How was it?
I didn't watch it. I just saw it. I was like, oh, I gotta watch it. No, I have to watch it. But yeah, they have ones that you have to get vetted, and there's some where you have to be referred by somebody on the site. And then there's, of course, their website for sugar babies. Where they at?
Right.
What's the website? Please tell me. Let me stop. Well, let me say about my ratchet ass experience I had on the date.
Listen, when I met Kecia, you were the dating app queen. Like,
was I? I was on.
Maybe not like you were currently on it, but you were like telling me, you're like, oh yeah, I used to be on Plenty of Fish and this and that. And you're like, girl, you better get on these apps. And I'm like, what is Plenty of Fish? Like,
y'all don't judge me. I was on Plenty of Fish, but I was on Plenty of Fish before it turned into the perverted site that it kind of is now, right?
It's perverted?
Well, when I was getting off of it, it ended up turning into like a hookup site.
See, that's what I thought Tinder was. So I got off Tinder.
So, okay. I got on a dating site because I don't go anywhere. Yeah. Like, I was kind of like transitioning jobs and I didn't really have too many close friends until I met y'all. So I wasn't really doing anything. I was homebody. And I was trying to like come into my adulthood, adult friend type situation. So it was kind of weird. And I had just broken up with my ex. And we had been together like 5 years. So there was like a serious relationship. And I didn't really make friends in college because I was a commuter. All that to say, I didn't know how else to meet men. So I went on Plenty of Fish. I would get on and I would get off. I would get on and I would get off. Like, people would send me messages and it was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. Or like, and then I'll get on and I get off. Girl, I done got cursed out on them sites. Somebody called me a waterhead hoe.
Why? Because you didn't respond?
No. So.
Not you a waterhead hoe.
A waterhead hoe.
What is a waterhead hoe?
Apparently I got a big head.
You do have a big head.
Shut up.
Love you.
But one guy like argued me down. Like, he was like, you're not how old you say you are. And I was like, why would I even lie about that? Like, why
he lying? He projecting.
Right. I was like, why am I even having this conversation with you? Because who are you? So before I can, I blocked him. And before, like, I guess the block like took effect, the last message came in and he called me a waterhead who. Oh my God, so funny. That is funny. And then like, you would get like random people sending you messages, and then like I would get on and then I would get off because I would see people that I work with on it, and I was like, I don't want them to see me. Let me get off. And then like I would go on a couple of dates, and then I was like, this is stupid. And then I even tried like I'm a lazy lover, right? So I tried, what's that, the popular one with that old white man that be on it? man, it's like a really popular dating site. I actually don't even see commercials.
Not Match, huh?
Is it Match? I don't know, but like one of them, you gotta answer like 150 questions, and I was like, I'm not answering this.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not answering. So I just started picking stuff, and then the people that they found for me, they was like, oh, we are gonna ask you all these questions so we can find like the perfect match for you. But then when you get your matches, you be like, none of these are attractive. I want some ratchet. Like, so you go back on Plenty of Fish. It's like, oh my god. Needless to say, was it worth it? I met my husband off of Plenty of Fish.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
You didn't know that?
I knew y'all met online. I didn't know it was the Plenty of Fish one.
Funny story, because I'm chock full of them. I met Brian on Plenty of Fish. He sent me a message.
Yeah, y'all lied about y'all names.
No,
and stuff,
well,
huh?
of course I'm gonna lie about my name. I don't want you to know my real name. Like, I'm gonna tell you I was telling people my middle name.
Can you even do that these days though? Because don't they ask for like ID or link your Facebook or something like that to some of these dating sites?
Back then, they didn't ask for any of that.
Okay.
Like, you just put in a username, put in your little bio, your pictures, and go about your business. Now, I think on Tinder, like, you have to like connect your Facebook or something.
Yeah.
But I just put a name, and he put a fake name, which is his middle name. We both put our middle names, and he sent me a message the day he got out of jail. If y'all didn't know, my husband is a felon.
Not the day he got out of jail.
Yes, and we went on a date a week after he got out of jail. But mind you, I didn't know any of this. And then
can I ask what he was in jail for? Yeah.
Yeah. He was in jail, not prison. But eventually the charges were thrown out. So when we met on the first date, I ain't gonna lie, when I seen his picture, I was like, ooh, he cute. So we met on the first date, and I was upset because I was like, this nigga late. Why are you late for our first date?
Yeah.
And then we started talking about the conversation out before we started dating. I mean, not dating, before we started talking. How do you, well, I don't want to get too far into our thing, but how do you, when you're online dating somebody, how do you bring it from online to real life? Do you give them your real number? Or do you give them because then you don't want to give them your Facebook information, right? Because I feel like if you give them your Facebook or Instagram,
then they all up in your life.
Yeah. I don't want you that much into my life.
I mean, I feel like it would be giving the number. If y'all conversation flowing on the app type, and y'all want to meet up, then I feel like give them your number. Because what's the harm at that point? If you're agreeing.
Girl, there's a lot of harm. I don't know.
If you're agreeing to meet up, though.
Let me tell you. So I was one of those I don't know what can happen type person. So I had downloaded, I think it was Kick. It was an app that you can use to text people back and forth, but you wouldn't give them your number.
Okay.
I used WeChat, stuff like that, just to kind of vet you out a little bit more.
Yeah.
We can talk, but I don't want you with my number.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah, I ain't do that. I mean, I don't know. And then if I was meeting somebody, okay, why do people let other people pick them up from their house to bring them on a date if that's your first time meeting that person?
Yeah, I don't do that type of stuff.
That is weird.
You're not gonna know where I live.
I don't even care if we've been on a few dates. I'm still not gonna let you know where I live at. I'm gonna drive myself just in case you get weird and I get out of there.
The only time I would say I had a situation where I let the guy come to my house. So the one who I was scared that if he took the hat off, he would be bald.
Yeah.
We met through mutual friends, though. So, the first time I met him and we hung out, we met with mutual friends, and we had actually all rode together. So they dropped me back off at my house anyway. And so that night, he asked me for my number. And then the first time we hung out, he did actually come pick me up. But that was, different. When it's somebody that I just, met out the blue, don't know them, baby, you're not coming to my house.
Yeah, I've seen so many things where people are like, oh, you can pick me up here. No. Online dating, regular dating.
Yeah.
Meet me somewhere, like meet me at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Or meet me where we're going. I'm not getting in your car because I don't know you.
Yeah.
You're not coming to my house in case you're a stalker. So yeah, I just think that people just need to be a little bit more cautious when they're like doing like off website to personal, because I know that everything now is so open and free with social media and like the internet and stuff like that, but still be cautious of your safety. I don't know. You think you may know somebody just because you follow them on Instagram or something like that, but that person may be crazy.
Yeah. You don't know them.
So let's just say you made it off of the website and now you're going on your first date. In my mind, we meet each other there. What are your expectations? Like, it's your first date with this person. Are you gonna drag his ass to the highest restaurant, or y'all gonna go somewhere chill?
I think it depends, like, on what type of person you are. I'm a more chill person, so like honestly, it's rare that I get like that dressed up, like we going to this fancy ass dinner, right? So I'm like, I would probably prefer something more chill. Some more low key too, because it's like I don't even know if I like you like that to like be seen with you. Right?
I'm about to be seen with you.
Yeah.
No. So my first date with Brian, when we went out, we went to like Zia's. Sure, you know, it's just a regular mid-level restaurant.
Yeah.
And like I said, late, I was like, "What are you doing?" So when I will go on dates, like, first of all, you're gonna meet me there, and I'm gonna watch you walk in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit there and wait for you. I'm gonna watch you walk in.
Make sure he is who he said he is.
Make sure he is who he is, because I don't want to be in a restaurant and then I'd be like, "That's Beetlejuice. Let me get out of here."
Not Beetlejuice.
Yes. So like, I'm gonna watch you get out your car. First of all, I want to see the type of car you're driving. Nothing like bougie about it. I just want to see.
But yeah. In case you get kidnapped.
In case I
Girl, he in this
I look
a silver Honda Accord.
I would do that. I would like put my location on my phone and be like, I'm going here with this person. Here's a picture of him. I will call you when I get home.
Yeah.
Go to the date, go in a restaurant. Like I said, I watch them walk in. And then when I leave the restaurant, I don't go straight home. Like I like circle the block and be like, oh, ain't nobody following me. I guess I'll go home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I watch too many murder mysteries. I've been watching Lifetime since I was like 10.
Yeah.
You know, all the
Damn.
Yeah. So what do you talk about on the first date? Like, I feel like you've talked about a lot during text messages.
I'm tired of
right?
first dates. What's your favorite color? No, I'm just playing. I don't be talking about that. But I don't know. I just feel like first date, don't know the person. I would just more so be asking about like them and their life. Like, what do you do? Like, where do you come from? Like, what are your hobbies? Standard kind of stuff like that.
So, I guess it's like, I kind of know there's a red flag if we're talking and there's like no flow.
Right.
Like, how is the flow of conversation? Do I have to like constantly pull questions out of you?
Right.
Like,
I hate that.
I hate that. Like,
Are
I feel
you
like I'm
like-
trying too hard.
Right. Or you like ask a question and you're like, so like, what do you like to do for fun? And they're like, oh, I go bowling.
Like, they don't give nothing. Like, I need this to be a give and take.
Yeah, they don't give nothing. They don't like ask you the question back. And you got to be like, well, since you didn't ask, I'll tell you anyway. Like, here's what I like to do on the weekend. Yeah.
And then that kind of like, is this person an in-person person, or do they just like you through the text messages, stuff like that? Like, so, I mean, I hate that. And then it's like, I remember dating for the first time, being too afraid to eat in front of that person.
Really?
Girl, after that, I'd be like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Now, with that being said, like, they have been like viral moments of people like going and ordering like 8 to 10 drinks. Or like that girl who did like, how many dozens of oysters did she do?
A ridiculous
Like
amount.
running up the bill.
Yeah.
On the first date. Like, I think that's ridiculous.
I do too. I don't do that type of stuff.
That's ghetto.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking advantage of this person. No, I'm not gonna take you out on the second date. And it's not me being cheap. It's like, I'm seeing a person for what you really are.
Yeah.
Like, one, if I'm going on a date with a stranger, I'm still gonna have money in my purse in case something doesn't go right.
Period.
Because I don't want anybody to feel like I owe you something.
Hello.
Like, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and pay for this little $50 dinner, and that's gonna be it. But for you to constantly be like, oh, I need another drink. Oh, I need another drink. Oh, I need. My max is like 2 drinks.
Yeah.
And we can share an appetizer, and I can get my own entree.
Yeah.
And then after you do like more dates, and if you feel like you want, more things, of course, but not off ripped off the first date. Like she had 4 dozen oysters. That's a lot of raw food in your stomach. Like, how are you not throwing up?
The only time I feel like, but he was in on it. I was gonna say the only time I feel like I've done that with a man is like the tall one, Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first time me and him hung out, we was ordering buku stuff, but he was greedy too. So it was like a whole like foodie experience. But he was like, order whatever you want. I think we got like 3 orders of wings. Like we was just going ham. We got like we was just trying stuff in the restaurant. But he was like a part of it. Yeah. It wasn't like, and I genuinely like we had a good time together.
Yeah. Well, that's different. But like just like, oh, I want this. If the nigga looking at you sideways, like, hey, stop ordering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
or was that girl? It was a story about a girl, and she was on FaceTime, I think, like, or not FaceTime, maybe Instagram Live or something, in the car with the boy, like being like, he won't do this or he won't do that or something like that, because it was their first date. And you could tell he was trying so hard to like be respectful, but she was basically like shitting on him. And so he ended up basically telling her like to get out the car, and the date was over. And like the internet was going in on her. You don't remember that story? Oh, I wish I remember what the details were.
But that's another thing. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that on Facebook. I'm not putting it on. Like, why do you have to... People, when you post your business on Facebook, on Instagram, people aren't looking to be like, oh, I'm so sorry for this, whatever. People are looking because they want to know your business. And I am one of those people. What's happening? Girl, what's the tea? You heard about that? Because if you put it out there, you want me to talk about it.
You know what it was? The Cheesecake Bistro thing. Like, she was like, oh, like, can you believe yeah, but she was like, can you believe, like, he's trying to take me to Cheesecake Bistro?
Oh, yeah.
Do I look like the type of woman that you take to Cheesecake Bistro? And it was like their first date.
She just seems like she's doing too much.
Yeah, and so, like, that started this whole, like, internet thing, too, where it was like, well, what is appropriate? Like,
this is our
first date. Yeah. Like, get over it.
What, no, I
agree. Yeah, because I'm like, one of my friends I know, they're a couple. Their first date was to an ice cream shop.
Right. I've had a first date to an ice cream shop.
Right. I don't think anything's wrong with that.
I've had a first date. Like, I like movies, really, to kind of like, I don't want to say like icebreaker.
Yeah.
When movies was a thing, right? Because movies ain't even a thing no more. Like an icebreaker, you can't really talk to that person, but you can kind of feel them out. And then after that, y'all can have something to talk about because you watch the movie. But that whole recording it, do I look like... You look like something you here.
Right.
Like, I don't get that. That's goofy to me. Like, I don't know. So I was watching something in the guy, and it was like a red flag. He was like, well, I'm going to order for you. Would you let somebody order? My husband don't order for me, but would you let somebody order for you?
I might.
I don't know. It just was given like
not in a vibes. I was gonna say not if I'm getting controlling vibes, but my one Bumble date, I think that was no, I did 2 Bumble dates. The second one was horrible though. I got to tell you about that one. And why did ended up being friends? They literally they were not even, they didn't even look alike, girl. They were not high school. They were college roommates.
Oh.
I said it was a crazy story how we found this out. But anyway, so I did go out on a first date with this guy and that I met on Bumble years ago. And we were both foodies and we knew that. So he took me to this restaurant and he was like, do you mind if I order for us? Because he was like, I know like all the best. And I was like, dude, I'm like, do your thing. So he literally was just ordering all the best. So he like got like 2 or 3 appetizers that were really good, 2 or 3 entrees that were really good, but I let him order like for us. So that's why I was like, it wasn't controlling vibes.
This guy was like, I'm gonna order for you, she'll have the salad.
No, I won't.
Right.
I want a steak.
I want a steak. He was like, because the way that she had did it, like she kind of like put her phone on and was recording him talking. He was like, yeah, but what about the extra calories? What? She was like, yeah, but still, like I want, like she wanted to order, and then when the waiter came, he said, well, I'm gonna order for her.
What do you think this is?
Girl, I don't know. So I'll tell you some experiences I've had.
Okay.
So I have no problem with dating outside of my race.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've never done that.
I've dated outside my race.
Nobody ever hollers at me.
I guess because I look white to a certain extent. If you look fast, right? I don't know.
Look at that white woman.
So I feel like the experiences I've had dating, I would say Caucasians. Oh my God. That laugh came from the bottom of my stomach. Oh man. Caucasoids. I got that from Cat Williams from Mount Caucasus. We maybe got a 720 credit score right now. Anyway.
Okay.
So my experiences with dating white guys, they want to kiss like the first date type situation, and
You ain't a first date kisser?
I'm not a first date kisser. I'm not a second date kisser. I mean, I don't know you like that, I guess. I don't know. And
Kecia,
look, my experiences, no offense to some people, but like some people put their mouth on anything, and not people just like they drink behind anybody. They like let their dogs kiss them in the mouth. Like,
yeah,
the f are we doing?
Yeah,
you're not about to kiss me with that. Anyway, so back then, the guy that I went on a date with, it was a white guy, but he was kind of like, he had some swag to him, right? He kind of, I remember, like, we were sitting next to each other, and we were on a date, and he was like next to me. He was trying to be like all like affectionate, and I'm not that type of like PDA person. Yeah. Girl, this boy went to run his fingers through the back of my neck, and at this point I had a sewing. Girl, I grabbed that man's hand so fast and said, hey, don't do that. Look, I am Becky with the somebody else hair. Don't touch my hair. Don't touch my hair. And I think that like kind of threw him because he was like, what the like, because he had touched a braid. Oh, he was close. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, he didn't know.
He didn't know.
Dang.
I don't know if I was his first black girl or what, but I couldn't have been his first black girl. But don't touch my hair. Don't even look too hard at my hair.
Don't touch my hair.
And then he look. And then that same date, he was like, oh, you can leave your car here and I'll take you to my house and then I'll bring you back in the morning. Sir,
take you to my house for what?
I may not come back tomorrow. Do you really think I'm your next victim? Like, why would I leave my car here so you can bring me to your house? What? But he was serious. Like, oh no, you know, I've done it before. Kind of. You ain't do it with me, cause no.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
People crazy.
Yeah. Tell me about your.
Oh man. Ooh, child. So.
Oh man, that's funny.
There was, when I was on my Bumble era, which this is so crazy. Now that I'm thinking about this out loud, this is crazy. So I told y'all about how I met a guy, but he didn't live here on Bumble, and I can't remember if our date was like before or after the interaction I'm about to tell you about. But like met this guy on Bumble. I want to say it was before. Match with him, and he was a chiropractor, and that's just how I'm gonna identify him. He's a chiropractor, and so we matched, and I think like technically we met up like briefly for like maybe like coffee or tea, or it was something like really, really short, right? And then we kept texting, and he was like, I want to take you like out on a date. So he like sent me a restaurant to meet him at and stuff like that. And we got there, and like literally I ended up arguing this man down on the first date because I think I was just making like conversation with him. One of my friends at the time was about to get married, and she was like texting me some stuff, freaking out. And so I like was telling him like, oh, I'm so sorry, like my friend's freaking out a little bit, like that's why I'm looking at my phone. And so I told him like what was going on, just making like small talk. And he was basically like just combative, argumentative. Like when I was telling him what was going on, you could tell like his little responses were kind of snappy, and I'd be like, yeah, well, I think she should do this. And he's, he have just this little weird attitude. So I'm like, okay, this is weird for me, but we can keep it going. So he was like, do you want to go and grab a drink somewhere? I'll be honest, I was kind of blown just from like our interaction at dinner, but I was like, you know what? Maybe if we go grab a drink, like things will loosen up, like it'll get better. Because he did. He took me to a really nice restaurant too. So I was like, I don't want to just like blow him off and be like, bye. So we go to this like rooftop bar, and we're just sitting there talking. And then he starts telling me about one of his friends that's married and the problems that they're facing in their relationship. And long story short, it was like a stay-at-home mom, and the husband would be complaining because he felt like she didn't keep herself up enough and they didn't have enough sex, and he's just basically calling this woman like lazy because he's like, if all she does is take care of the kids and not work,
all
like
she does is take care of the kids.
Right.
3 kids.
Problematic, right? And so yeah, I'm going back and forth with him, basically like exactly what you rolled your eyes for, like going back and forth. I'm like, that's still a lot of work, like that's a lot on her plate. And he's like, well, they're older, they go to school throughout the day, so like she should be doing more, and like blah 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 blah. I'm like, you don't even know how that man makes her feel while you're sitting up here saying she should just be ready to have sex whenever he ready to have sex. I'm like, is she even fulfilled in her relationship? Does he do thoughtful things for her? Like, I'm literally just basically telling him, like, you have no idea what goes on behind closed doors in other people's relationship. Like, you don't even live with them people. You literally don't know. And when I tell you, this man grabbed me, he faced me, grabbed both my hands, and he said, can you please just be quiet?
He has a complex.
I said, I sure can. I grabbed my purse and I walked up off that roof and never talked to his ass again. Like, that was the worst date I had ever had. But when he told me that, like, the argument was one thing, to going back and forth. But when he told me, can I please just, right.
Like, shut up.
Yep, I sure can. And I left his ass on that roof. Fast forward, the guy that lived out of town, I think me and him were talking, and I was like, you're really like the only like cool, decent person I met on Bumble, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just running it to him, and I tell him about this date, and I tell him like, oh, it was this guy that was a chiropractor. And he was like, just out of curiosity, he was like, what was his name? And I told him his name. He said, dog. He said, as soon as you said he was a chiropractor who was arguing with you, he said, I knew exactly who you were talking about. He's like, we went to college together. We were roommates. And he was like, he would be argumentative with everybody. He was like, me, any woman he was dating. Like, he was like, he's just an argumentative ass person. But I was like, that's a small, like, the world is too small.
The world is very small. But like, yeah. What you arguing for, sir? Like, he wouldn't want to be the
right.
I'm not for that. Right. So I've had, that I can remember, 2 bad dates. One was, this is short, my took me to Taco Bell.
Oh, well, wow. I would have rather to walk on the levee.
Mind you, we was in college, but
still,
yeah,
a walk on the levee is free, and it would have been better than Taco Bell.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead.
Yo
and
quiero
go
Taco
home.
Bell.
The second one, it wasn't a blind date situation. It was somebody that I actually knew. Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was somebody that I actually knew. We went on a date because it was, in my mind, I felt like we didn't have any romantical connection. He was kind of just my friend and I had nothing else to do. So I was like, oh, well, yeah. I don't mean to say it sounding like that. Like, we were cool.
He my friend. I ain't got nothing else to do. I'll go on a date with him.
We were cool. Like, okay. And you know how cool the relationship, I mean, yeah, well, in my mind, right? So we went out to eat. I paid for my own food. So when we got back, he lived in, well, let's just say my apartment at the time was in Kenner. He lived in Hammond. So that's what, 45 minutes? 45-minute drive. So I was like, oh, okay. You know, we went, like, there was no, in my mind, yet again, there was no, oh, we gonna have sex, we gonna do this. Because first of all, I just paid for my own food.
Yeah.
What we doing? We friends. So, we went back to my apartment and we were like looking up stuff, like just hanging out or whatever. So I don't know what happened, but I ended up falling asleep. And then I woke up like, wait a minute. And I was like, damn, you still here? I was like, all right, you can go. Like, thank you. This was fun. I'll call you later. And he was like, well, you gonna make me drive, to Hammond? I've been drinking. I said, you drunk?
You knew you had to drive back to
Hammond.
Hammond.
And I was like, you knew you had to drive back. And I was like, what, you drunk? Your body didn't absorb that. You had 1 or 2 drinks. Like, chill out. Like, how did you invite yourself to stay at my apartment? I was like, you'll be fine. He was like, that's wrong, blah, blah. I said, you will be fine. You're a grown-ass man. I said, matter of fact, go by your mama's house. That's 20 minutes away if you don't feel like going to Hammond. So, yeah, I was like, you're not going to just impose yourself to stay with me. And I was like, plus I got a roommate.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I said, you can't, first of all, you're not sleeping in my bed.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to have my roommate walk into our house with some random ass on the couch. I was like, no, that's not how I roll. So he must have went down to his car when I was asleep and got a bag, like a backpack. And I was like, oh, you really thought you were sleeping over here? So I was like, nah, you could go. So after he left, let me tell you how my apartment is set up. So I had lived in these older apartments. Like, I was on the 3rd floor, but when you go up the stairs, there was if you went straight, it will take you to a door that ended up being a whole bunch of doors into like a hallway full of apartment doors. But my apartment had like this random outside door that went directly into my room.
Oh,
when I think about it now, it's kind of sketchy, but whatever. So he went out that door and I went into the bathroom to kind of like take a shower, to do whatever. Picture what? Had his toothbrush in my bathroom. I was like, what? What?
He said he was there.
He was there
to stay.
Right. And it pissed me off so much. I grabbed his toothbrush and I was like, I don't want him to have no reasons to come back to my house. Like, oh, I left. There's any excuse to come back, right? I grabbed his toothbrush. I ran to the balcony because by that time he should have made it to the bottom. I said, hey, you forgot your toothbrush, and I threw it off the I think that was the last time we talked. Yeah, like we can't even be friends anymore after that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no.
Don't invite yourself to stay at my house.
You ever went on a date and didn't know you were going on a date?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, you ever went on a date and you was like, oh, this is a date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened to me like shortly after I got separated. Like,
he had the flowers and everything, eh?
Yes, baby. Flowers, champagne. I said, man, this ain't never happened to me before. Like, I haven't had a man show up with flowers and champagne, 1. But then 2, I've never had a man show up with flowers and champagne, like, thinking it was a date.
And it wouldn't.
And it was not a date for me. I was like, oh, wait, I thought this was like a business influencer thing. What are we doing here?
Fooled you.
Yeah.
So I, of course, I have to do my Reddit research because it is so funny, y'all. I'm like new to the world of Reddit, but they have some stuff on that. So, before I get into like the 2 or 3 stories I have, what do you have to say? You have anything to say?
Nope.
Okay, so
go ahead. Let it rip.
Let's see. This girl says that she matched with her BFF's fiance after the engagement party on a dating website, right?
Please tell me he just forgot to take his profile down, even though that don't make sense. Because if he your fiance, he should have been up off that hole.
Because he your fiance because y'all been dating for some while. So no, he ain't forget to take it down. He did not take it down. So she took screenshots of everything, and she lost her BFF because she basically told her BFF like, hey, your fiance is on here. And why is it that, and I know that you're supposed to have your own mind and not go with what people say, but if she's taking screenshots and showing you, hey, your fiance is on here, you should probably, talk to him about it. But the BFF stopped talking to her, and she was uninvited to the wedding, and 18 months later, the marriage was over. I would be pissed off if I spent all that money on a wedding and it only lasted 18 months, because run me back my coins.
Yeah. Ooh.
Another one said a handsome guy asked her to go out to dinner. She got dressed up. He showed up in casual clothing, and he takes her to the fresh market for food samples. It was even
food samples?
It was a food sample event. They wandered around getting free samples.
It ain't that many goddamn samples in Fresh Market.
I don't know. She said she called a friend to pick her up. That's a terrible
Fresh Market. Would you like to sponsor this episode and we can
get some food samples? All right, let's see. Another one is she admitted to getting a booty call while we were sitting with drinks. After a trip to the restroom, I returned to the table and she was gone. Damn.
What?
I guess that booty call was calling her. That's one of them peens you cannot pass up. Pew, pew, pew. I say, look, I got to go. I know these streets is calling me. Hello.
She left.
She left his ass high and dry.
Oh, that's messed up.
I mean, at least she ain't eat a whole three-course meal and a drink. She was like, oh, I see my chance to go.
Bye.
Yeah. She just left him with at most a $15 bill.
Yeah.
And he could ask her for Cash App for that.
Right.
But for her to tell you I got a booty call.
That's what I'm saying. You could have made up something else.
Yeah.
She said honesty is the best policy. He got to see who she was.
Girl. The last one I got was, this is from a male. He was on a dating site and he found a match. They chatted a few times, arranged to meet up for a meal. She was about 20 minutes late. They greeted each other. They sat down. And then she proceeds to open her handbag and pull out a puppet. Sits down on the table. It was the puppet's birthday. People crazy. So you just gonna have lamb chop on the table while we eating?
She probably fed him too. Like, here you go. You want a bite of this?
Girl.
Oh, he's allergic to onions.
Not the puppet allergic. Look.
Oh.
If you have went on any of these bad dates or any of the bad dates that you had previously, would you chop it up to, it was a fluke, let me try it again?
Right.
Or would you be like, nah, I'm straight?
Right.
Would you if you had a bad date, would you do it again?
I think it depends on the level of how bad it was.
Oh, dude putting his hands on you and be like, shut
yeah,
up.
that was a negative for me.
I think like if the conversation wasn't there, I was like, well, maybe it was nerves. I'll give that person a second chance.
I've done that before. Like the first date wasn't great, but I was like, maybe he was nervous or maybe something was off. Like, let's try it again.
Because if it's like right after that, he started texting regularly, be like, damn, what was all this conversation when we were sitting at the table?
But see, that's the day and age I feel like we live in. Like, people don't know how to socialize the way that they used to.
Yeah.
Like, they could talk and do a whole bunch of stuff online, but then it's like they in person, it's like they freeze up.
I don't know. That's what alcohol is for, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, loosen up.
Because I'm an introvert, so I feel like that does happen to me. But also, I feel like one-on-one, I'm good.
Yeah. I knew that me and Brian were going to do good because our conversation just flew. Like, after the first date, it was just like a flow conversation. Another thing is, when he saw me, because, my first date, I was like, oh, I'm going to be cute. I'm wearing heels. I'm already 6 feet and I had on heels. He was like, I thought you was a transvestite. I had to look under your neck to make sure you had no Adam's apple. He said, "You good though?"
Done with him.
He was like, "I just never." He said, "People always say I'm tall." He said, "But I've never seen somebody as tall, like a tall female, then with heels on." He was like, "Yeah, I had to make sure."
Damn.
He said, "But after that, we was good. Like we talked the whole night. Like even when we left, we like sat in the parking lot and talked, and then like we was talking, and then the next day we met up. So it was like a flow type of situation. So
cute.
I changed his life."
Oh, okay. You did, Mom. You did that.
I did.
All right. So I got some facts for us.
Okay.
Some stats. So research has shown that Black women face unique challenges in the online dating world. Mm-hmm. Studies indicate that Black women receive fewer responses and matches compared to women of other racial or ethnic groups on dating platforms. This phenomenon, often referred to as racial bias or racial preferences, can impact Black women's experiences in the online dating sphere. Yeah, I feel like that's true. Like in terms of online dating, like it'd be hard in real life. I feel like we face that in real life, but then online, I feel like it's the same. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. According to a Pew Research Center survey conducted in 2019, about 30% of U.S. adults have actually used online dating platforms. This represents a significant increase from only 11% in 2013. So yeah, in 6 years, it pretty much tripled in terms of how many people are on dating sites.
I mean, COVID helped a lot. Mm-hmm. When I started with dating sites, I feel like it was like taboo. Nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
And if you weren't dating sites, like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
So,
sounds weird.
Yeah, now it's just like normalized. Like, I'm now getting to the point. Like, at first, I didn't tell people I met Brian on a dating site. Yeah. They was like, how you met? Oh, we just ran into each other. He knows somebody from a friend of a friend. Like, it was kind of like, shh, don't tell nobody. But now it's like,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Because so many people have met on dating sites now. Okay. My other stat that I have is that data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows that there are slightly more single women than single men in the United States. This pattern is consistent across most age groups, although the gender ratio of singles may vary slightly depending on factors such as geographic location and cultural norms. But as of 2020, there were approximately 121 million adult men and 127 million adult women. So 6 million more women than men.
But then you got to think about like, I don't know, like, yes, it's more women, and then so many women has been tainted by like bad dates and like relationships. They're like, F it, I'm gonna do it by myself. I don't need it. Yeah, it's a lot.
Are they into women? Or the men are into men?
Are the men are into women that used to be men and now they women again?
It's real complicated. That's what I said. We live in a complicated age right now.
Like I keep saying, do you, boo, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
But, whoo, child, it's confusing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let me know if y'all know like where you actually find people to date.
Where do you find people?
Any like more exclusive or like secretive apps, because like that's another thing. I honestly like, I don't even remember, but some of the apps link to like your Instagram page and stuff, so that's why I'm like, I don't want people to like
know my business, because
I don't like that.
I don't like that. Oh, what if it didn't work for you, but you think that they would be good for a friend? Would you refer that friend? Like, would you be like, hey, I got somebody for you? Like, because I did that with you one time, almost, and it wasn't like it just was like, oh, you don't work for me, but I think that you'll be good for this other person.
Ooh. I don't know what that means. Whatever, we'll talk about it later. I'm like, what are you talking about?
This was a long time ago.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember. But no, I feel like I would be open to do something like that. Like if I met a guy and I was like, it ain't nothing between us, but like honestly, I think he would be good for this other person, I would like pick my friend's brain to see like how she felt about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shortage on men.
Yeah. So if you meet a good one that you can hook your homegirl up with that you don't want, Might as well.
Stop being a hater. Stop being a cock blocker. Mm-hmm. And next time we're gonna have a discussion where we talk about short kings.
Short kings. King Kendrick. Look.
Oh, my boy wears 7 size shoe. He gonna stand on all of that,
Bruh. TikTok. I keep mentioning TikTok because I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok with the whole Drake and Kendrick beef. I've been living for it. It's hilarious. This one girl was like, all right, kings, short kings, now is your time. Kendrick is rising. She was like, Kendrick is rising up. Don't you miss this opportunity.
girl. Look, you better own it. You better own all 5 feet 2 inches of your height. Look, don't let nobody tell you ain't who you meant to be.
Man.
All right, this is fun. See you guys on our next episode, whatever we talk about. Remember, if you like us, please leave a review. If you don't like us, don't come back.
Bye.
And we'll see you next time. Toodles.
See ya.